I'm almost positive that I've already told you guys this, but just in case I forgot, I'm going to be in Anaheim on opening day because I have to see with my own eyes Shohei Ohtani on the bump versus the Houston Astros. And yes, I'm going to be vlogging all of it. But as you can see on the screen, there's something weird happening. So this is the brand new manager of the Nippon Ham Fighters, and he was introduced via hovercraft. So if the Angels are watching, please buy this same hovercraft, put it in center field, have Shohei Ohtani lift above center field, hover over to the pitching mound, float back down, and then he starts his warm-up, because honestly, I can't think of a more viral baseball clip in the history of baseball. But anyways, what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. If this is your first time on the channel, do not be afraid to hit that subscribe button, because we talk about baseball every single day. And also, if you're going to any games, make sure that you use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off your entire purchase. Now, that is it. We're going to go ahead and jump into the breaking news because we have a ton to talk about, so make sure you watch all the way until the end. As you saw by the title, yes, buzzers are back in baseball for the first time since the Astros and I shouldn't say that because a lot of Astros fans are going to get mad at me, because there is not concrete evidence that the Astros use buzzers. It is just a joke. It's a meme. It's still relevant in 2022. I do not actually hate the Astros, but as you can clearly see, the Dodgers were facing off against the Royals, and Gleyber Torres was using a device on his wrist called a pitch comm. So basically, in a nutshell, the pitch comm is a discrete device on the wrist of the catcher, and the catcher can press any button, and that will indicate to the pitcher where he should throw the ball, as well as the pitch selection. So if he clicks on the button in the top right, that means fastball up. And the way that the pitcher hears this, yes, he is not going to be feeling it. It is not haptic feedback like it's an iPhone where it's buzzing. It is going to be audio feedback in a device attached to his hat. It is also going to be on the hats of all four other infielders. So the pitcher is going to know what to throw, and then the infielders are going to be able to position themselves based off the following pitch, which might actually tip the hitter. So let's say all of the infielders start shifting to the right, it might be a fastball on the outside corner if you're a right-handed hitter. So we're gonna have to pay attention to this going into the season, because right now it's pretty much a 50-50 split between catchers and pitchers. Some of them like it and some of them do not like it. Honestly, I didn't even notice that this was happening up until they showcased this in a Rays versus Red Sox game, and I posted that to my TikTok. Honestly, if they are this discreet about it and no one notices, I don't see what the problem is. Although I will say the catcher also has the audio feedback in his helmet, so that means the hitter can hear what's coming if the crowd isn't that loud. So something to pay attention to. All right, so we have a breaking trade that just happened. This is not a mega trade by any means, but I do want to talk about it because the White Sox are probably now out of the running for Michael Conforto, at least in my opinion, because they picked up 26-year-old Adam Hazley. He is a former first rounder, and I just want to be nice. I'm going to classify him as a very good defender. So the White Sox are getting a great outfielder in terms of defense, and we're just going to leave it at that. The Phillies are getting a 6'6" behemoth, a 23-year-old relief pitcher by the name of McKinley Moore. He is a strikeout machine, but he has horrible command, so kind of a win-win for both teams. They're not really missing out on much, but if they get the upside, the highest ceiling, they get a pretty solid, productive player. Two other things I want to talk about. Chris Archer is going to the Minnesota Twins. He has not been good over the last 2 seasons, and a lot of that has been due to injury, so he's looking to bounce back after all of those unfortunate circumstances. In his first 1,000 innings in the big leagues, he had a 3.5 FIP, and let's say you're brand new to baseball, FIP is just the pitcher striking out guys, not allowing walks, and not allowing home runs. So if you took all of the infielders and outfielders out of the equation, how good is that pitcher? So a 3.5 FIP is considered to be above average. Unfortunately, we have some sad news to talk about. Evan Longoria, who is on the edge of making the Hall of Fame. He has a 57.4 career baseball WAR. He's part of the 400 doubles and 300 home run club. He's also a 3-time Gold Glove winner. He needs surgery on his index finger, and the Giants do not know how long he is going to be out. I assume it's going to be anywhere from a couple weeks to a few months, so that's a big time blow for the Giants, who just lost Chris Bryant. Now, the last bit of news, I am praying to the baseball gods that this is not a joke. J-Ram, Jose Ramirez, and the Cleveland Guardians are in talks right now on a contract extension. I will take back all of my criticism if the Guardians actually start this new tenure of a new team with a new team name by extending J-Ram for the next 6 years. Give him $30 million a year for all I care. Just make it happen. And they need to do so because now we're going to get into the spring training highlights from the last day. Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson are legit. They are both prospects for the Tigers. Apparently, AJ Hinch came out and said that they still have a few things to prove before getting called up. I don't believe that for a second. I guess service time manipulation is still maybe a thing. Either way, Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson, we saw them showing up for their team yesterday, and they are going to be legit for a long time, which worries me as a Cleveland fan because the Tigers, they're on the come up. Bobby Witt Jr. is about to get called up for the Royals, and the White Sox and the Twins are also improving, so the Central is no longer a dumpster fire in my opinion. Are we seeing prime Gleyber Torres come back? He is lifting the ball again, and even though I'm not a Yankees fan, I think baseball is better when the Yankees are good and when Gleyber Torres is hitting 38 home runs in 144 games just like he did back in 2019 at just 22 years old. But over his last 170 games, he's only somehow managed to hit 12 home runs, so the power has completely evaporated. But ever since he had his son, he's a dad now, yeah, dad power is a real thing. Mike Trout experienced it. Bryce Harper has experienced it. Gleyber Torres, he's back, at least in my opinion. Now, a few other players that we have not had to worry about in terms of the power production, Nick Castellanos and Kyle Schwarber, they both hit their first home run as a member of the Phillies, and this Phillies lineup is going to be disgusting. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think the odds are the Phillies are going to have 5 or 6 guys between Harper, Hoskins, Castellanos, I already said that, Schwarber, and maybe JT Realmuto. What's the over and under that they're going to have 5 or 6 guys that hit 30 plus home runs? Now let's move on over to another first. Noah Syndergaard Thor had his first start as a member of the Angels. He had 4 strikeouts and I believe 3 innings. He did not allow a single earned run. So if he can be Thor in Anaheim right behind Shohei Ohtani, the Angels are going to be a playoff team. And again, these are just my opinions. Let's move on over to the NL Central because Albert Pujols, I forgot to mention, is 21 home runs away from 700 career home runs. This is the final year in his illustrious career. He announced that yesterday that this is the final run. But if he gets to 699 home runs, do you think that he's going to retire? To me, I feel like he's got to get to 700 because me as an OCD person, I could not live the rest of my life knowing I was 1 away. So let's stay with the NL Central. Willy Adames hit a ball over the batter's eye. He has been so good for the Brewers, and a borderline MVP candidate player just a season ago. If he would have played a full season with the Brewers, he might have been in contention with Juan Soto and Bryce Harper, but unfortunately not many games under his belt. And then also Clint Frazier and Brendan Davis of the Cubs. They are proving that the Cubs, they're not tanking by any means. They have signed a few guys. They've made some decent trades. Clint Frazier is going to be a very underrated pickup because he was suffering through a case of vertigo, and that just means that you get dizzy out of nowhere. It looks like he's back in business. And then Brendan Davis, one of the top prospects in baseball, his swing is looking pretty crispy. So the last thing that we're going to talk about before we get into the Nick Castellanos clip, him talking about our friend Bryson Stott. Look at these new Nike Connect jerseys for the Nationals. So I believe there's going to be 6 or 7 teams that are going to get the Nike Connect jerseys in 2022. If you're not familiar with Washington, D.C., these are cherry blossoms. They are scattered all over Washington, D.C. They are beautiful. I've only been there once before, but it was a sight to behold, and these jerseys to me are pretty sick. So let's go ahead and end today's video with Nick Castellanos talking about our friend Bryson Stott.
Learning type of thing, isn't it, in a game of baseball?
Oh, nice play.
That is a nice play.
Hey, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah.
When I was his age, you know, like coming up as a minor leaguer with no big league experience time, I'd be anything that I did positive, like I was so giddy and skipping around and excited, you know. So he's playing like a veteran. It's fun to watch.